Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Shai Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners mixed among the heathens, and to the Akwath that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother MALCHAAMAH coming at you with another lesson today in scripture and in common sense. This video is going to be about this planned chaos for this digital reset, because that's what this is all about. You know, the need to combat the crisis. Well, the crisis, there was no crisis. You know, the crisis was, let me take that back. The crisis was, how do we cover the crash of the dollar? Okay? And that was with this pandemic. All right, remember 25,000 stores closed in 2019. Let's go to the book of James. Bear with me a sec. Okay. Yeah, this is James 5. And I'm going to read verses 1 through 3. And it reads, "Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be witness against you, and ye shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped up treasure together for the last days, but they'll never see it." All right. So basically, their plans was falling, was falling through. The dollar was crashing. All right. Which, guess what? That was a plan in itself, because they've always wanted to go digital. So even the crash of the dollar was planned. You know, you got all these the separation of the 10 toes. Okay, you got to remember, a lot of the European Union and NATO countries were doing outside deals with other nations, and a lot of the nations that are doing business with them are not using the dollar anymore. So the dollar has been on a decline for a very long time. That's not new at all, especially in the last 10 years. Especially. All right, because after that crash in 2008, Russia and China got together with the BRICS, and they created the BRICS, and the BRICS countries and all the nations that have joined unto them. So let's go back to the scriptures again. Let's go to Daniel. Go back in time. This is Daniel, the 2nd chapter. I'm gonna start at verse 39. And it reads, and after these shall rise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third of brass, which shall rule over the earth. All right, that was that fourth kingdom, which was the kingdom of Esau, Edom, the kingdom of the Greeks, who were not the actual Greeks, but basically converts. They assumed the heritage of the Greeks when they took them down, and the evidence of that is in the Bible in 1 Maccabees. 1 Maccabees, the 1st chapter, tells you that Alexander was the first in his race, his creed, his stock, his people to rule over Greece. All right. 2 Daniel 2 and 40. "And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron. For as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise." And they did. The Greek Empire became the Roman Empire, and they conquered all of the known world for the most part, the ancient world. Okay? And it says, "And whereas thou sawest the feet of the toes, part of the potter's clay, part iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be of its strength of iron, for as thou sawest the iron mixed with the miry clay. Okay? And as the toes of the feet were part iron and part clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And that is what is going on now. Partly strong and partly broken does not work in a relationship. Very few relationships last when only one of the people are supporting, especially when it's the woman. All right, because we live in a society now where men are being left out, especially Israelite men. But now, you know, due to Jeremiah 30:7, I believe. Let me check to be sure, since I said it. Those curses are now falling on the Edomites. You know, they're experiencing a lot of the things that Jacob has been experiencing all along. No, it's not Jeremiah 30:7. Maybe it's Deuteronomy. That was a good one, though. Yes, Deuteronomy 30:7, and it reads, "And Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee." So, Edomite households are falling apart. Divorces at an all-time high. You know, loss of jobs, loss of wealth and health, the opioids, meth, alcoholism. You know, even their women are not having babies, and a lot of them that are getting pregnant are aborting them. So it's the things that Jacob have been going through, you know, it's now starting to happen to Esau, Edom, man. All right, but nevertheless, getting back to the situation at hand with these nations, partly strong and partly weak and partly broken, the separation happening. The money was being devalued. The money wasn't working anymore. So now that the money was starting to crash, they had to create a solution. All right. They had to create a solution. So the problem, you know, the reaction, the solution, as of lately, was the protests. See, they pushed people over the edge, and then they planned a lot of these protests and sent out agent provocateurs to ensure and make sure that it happened. All right, and then they were very careful about the targets, the soft targets they attacked. They didn't attack targets that dealt with finances and government control. None of that, you know. None of that at all. Just small businesses and things that really have nothing to do with nothing. All right. But the protest was an excuse for the spike in this pandemic and this disease that really isn't that dangerous in the first place. The regular flu is still more dangerous than COVID. I don't know how many, medical professionals have to say it before people believe it. You know, there's a huge rift in the medical world. Because a lot of medical people are fed up. A lot of them are stressed out. And a lot of them are just plain tired of the lies. And a lot of them are beginning to speak up. Okay? So now this re-shutdown, you know, is something that they can hide behind COVID and ignore factual science. Ignore science that has been proven. You know, I like to use the analogy of the, you know, you see the cars passing by on the road, you know, over there. And all those engines, if those engines are the heart of the car, so to speak, all right? That's the heart. And the lungs, the heart, and then the exhaust system is the lungs. What do you think happens if you restrict the exhaust pipes on those cars by covering them up with something? Do you think they will run efficiently? Or do you think the check engine lights would come on? The check engine lights would definitely come on because it needs a constant flow of air in order for it to work, because those cars were actually modeled after human beings. All right? They were. And your respiratory system needs to breathe freely. Because when it's restricted, it raises your cortisone levels, which causes your body stress, all right, which could actually make your blood pressure raise, and it weakens your immune system. That's the result of it. But yet they got these people conditioned to make themselves sick. So this second shutdown, and who knows what they're really going to release, you know, this time around for real. And with people wearing masks for for the last 6-7 months, almost a whole year, their immune systems are going to be very compromised. So a lot of people are going to get sick this second go around, for sure. All right. They're using pseudoscience in reverse. They're using pseudoscience to harm. Okay. As a matter of fact, let's get that in Timothy. I think that's 1 Timothy 6:20. And it reads, O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science, falsely so called. So basically, the Lord was warning you that they were going to in the last days. All right. And even probably back then. But that the Lord warned you through Timothy that the people in power, the son of perdition, would use false science to justify his crooked and unrighteous rulership, his unrighteous dealings. With the war on oxygen. There's a war. They got your face in jail, man. You got people's faces in jail. Your damn face doing time. All right? Let's grab another scripture, man. This is Second Ezra's Sirach. Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, 10 and 8. And it reads, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit. There's been a lot of injuries, a lot of real deaths as a result of those machines that they put people on. And then to come to find out they get so much money for those machines, for even having them. Now I understand what that was all about. And, I watched a video where the nurse was saying that they're openly killing people by putting them on those machines. One of the elders in the camp here, Uriah, had a family member that was on one of those machines, and she looked pretty bad. And I think it was one of his aunts. And I guess he said his sister got in there and made a stink, and they took her off the machine, and his aunt made a full recovery. And he showed me the pictures of her all sick, near death, and then her all lively when she was fine when they pulled her off the machine. So those machines are actually hurting people, man, just like the masks are. Okay? And then, so the injuries are being done because also, when it says about injuries, look at what it's done to people's livelihoods, small businesses and business owners. Like where I am with my professor in his school, man. Me with my private clients. They're hurting private businesses, which was basically the backbone of this economy. But in order to crash the dollar, to get to this digital reset, this is what they did. All right. So because of unrighteous dealings and injuries, and riches got by deceit. So there were a lot of riches that were gained in this. The people who deal with disinfectants and hand sanitizers made a killing. Dollar alcohol at the alcohol stores, at the dollar stores, the dollar bottles of alcohol, they're no longer $1. As a matter of fact, I was watching my girl Terry Lynn advertise on her show, and she, was speaking on her show and talked about how she talked to the clerk at her store that she knew playing dumb, and the clerk told her that they hadn't delivered bottles of alcohol to the stores in weeks, and that they were being intercepted by the government. So the government is snatching up a lot of this stuff, and then they're gonna hyperinflate and mark it up, because Terry Lynn said she went and looked it up online, and the bottles of alcohol to be delivered came to $10 for one bottle of alcohol that used to be like $1.15 or whatever that you got from the dollar store, which is typically they sell you either 70% or 80% alcohol. So the hyperinflation is going, man. So a lot of riches, man. All right. And then it says, and riches got by deceit, because they stole people's, not to mention they were stealing pensions. People's Social Security is going into people's bank accounts. Yeah, this scripture covers a lot, man. Let me read again. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So through this, they're going to secure the lockdown and control over all currencies, to unite the currencies with one. And the Federal Reserve, which is owned by Jewish individuals, and the biggest banks in the world, they're all owned by the Jewish. Hey, didn't Columbo tell you, Perry Mason, follow the money? Follow the money. Is that not a famous saying with Mayor damn, now I'm forgetting his name. Mayor Amschel, one of those banking families of the Rothschilds, but he said something to the simple fact that that if you give me the control over a nation's currency, and I care not who makes the rules, because whoever makes the rules it doesn't matter. They're not going to matter at all, because when it comes down to you spending money, buying things, doing things for your country, with your country, you have to come to the table with me if I control the money. All right? And that's all a part of the planned chaos for the digital reset by these parasites masquerading as government officials. So with that, I hope this was an uplifting and edifying exhortation. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Abashai Bashim Rakakadash Wa Abba Babal Shalom.